Okay, so you're listening because I bet you want to save money and fast, right? Like, who doesn't? Even if you're thinking, I'm already stretched thin, that's kind of where this deep dive comes in. We're looking at this super detailed guide all about how to build those savings no matter how much you're bringing in each month.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really struck me. It's not just feel-good tips, It's like a step-by-step plan, acknowledging it's tough to save when money's tight, but lays out actual strategies you can use. We're going to pull out the most impactful stuff, the things that'll give you the biggest changes quickly.
Perfect. So, right off the bat, the guide says, got to track your spending.
Yeah.
Might sound obvious, but it's huge EE. You might think, I kind of know where my money goes. But do you really? Like, to the dollar. Why is that level of detail so important?
What's wild is how often we're wrong about that, right? When you track every single thing, that's when you see the leaks, the little stuff like impulse buys or that subscription you forgot about. Those add up. It's moving from guessing to knowing.
And to help with that, they suggest some apps. Mint, it's for budgeting overall. YND, that's all about zero-based budgeting.
Hmm.
And Pocket Guard, which tells you what's safe to spend. What's the main difference for someone just starting out?
Good question. Think of it this way. Mint's like a big picture of your habits.
Yeah. But Y&A, with zero-based, it's like giving every dollar a job, so none are unaccounted for. Super helpful if your money vanishes and you're like, where to go? Then you've got Pocket Guard that's more about keeping you within limits after bills. Simple. Which app is best? Depends what clicks for you, what you'll actually stick with.
Once you've tracked a bit, they say separate needs from wants.
Rent, food, utilities, getting around, those are needs. Wants are like eating out, entertainment, the impulse buys. But sometimes the line's blurry, right? You can convince yourself that daily latte is a need.
Oh, totally. Like, we get it in our heads, but those little treats become emotional needs almost. A good trick is, for those wants, ask yourself, what value am I getting? Is it lasting or just a quick hit? They give this example. Daily coffee shop, that's maybe $80 a month. What else could you do with that?
So you're tracking, separating needs and wants. Next is this bare bones budget. Why, if I'm trying to save fast, would I strip it all down like that?
It shows you the bare minimum to survive, right?
Yeah.
Your baseline. Then you see the maximum you could save if you cut everything else back, at least for a bit. It's like eye-opening how much wiggle room there might be.
And they lay it out pretty simply. List your income, then only the must-haves: rent or mortgage, utilities, basic food, essential transport. Then the tough part, those non-essentials, they give examples like canceling unused subscriptions, less takeout, hitting up thrift stores, stuff like that. These feel like easy wins to start with, right?
Definitely. It's not just spend less, it's specific things you can probably cut without your life being totally different. They even have a sample budget. Someone making $2,000 a month could free up $500. That's motivating.
Now, they bring up the 50-30-20 rule. Can you break that down?
Hmm.
And more importantly, why they say tweak it if you're on a lower income.
So 50-30-20, it's after-tax income. 50% to needs, 30% wants, 20% savings and debt. Makes sense, but on a lower income, more goes to needs, right? Sticking to 50% might be impossible.
So they adjust it, 60-20-20, or even 70-20-20. Savings stay important, needs get more because that's reality, and wants adjust. It's finding what works for you.
Exactly. Got to be flexible. The guide shows someone earning $1,500 a month. Standard rule, they'd save $300, which is good, but the adjusted rule gives more breathing room for those needs while still aiming for that 20% saved.
Let's get into those quick wins, cutting expenses. They break it down. Utilities, food, transport, housing. Utilities first. What can I do right now to see those bills go down?
They've got good ones, practical stuff, swap to energy-efficient light bulbs, unplug things when you're not using them, and look into low-income assistance programs. Those programs can seriously help with utilities, freeing up your cash.
For food, they say meal prep, buy in bulk, use apps like Too Good To Go. Have those work for you.
Oh, yeah. Meal prep, that's a lifesaver. Planning ahead means you're less likely to order takeout, which is expensive and usually not as healthy. Bulk buying staples like rice, beans, pasta lowers your cost per meal. And Too Good To Go, that app's amazing for finding good food from restaurants or stores at a big discount. Saves money and fights food waste.
Transport's pretty straightforward. Walk, bike, public transit, carpool. Might need to switch things up, but the savings could be big.
Absolutely. Gas prices are crazy, plus car maintenance adds up. Those other ways to get around can really impact your monthly spending. Carpooling, if it works for your commute, that's splitting the cost, which is great.
Last quick win is housing. Roommate, negotiating rent, even moving somewhere cheaper. Big decisions, but potentially the biggest savings long term.
Yeah, big impact. Roommate, boom, housing costs cut in half. Negotiating rent can feel scary, but it's worth a shot, especially when your lease is ending. Moving, well, that's a lot, but if a cheaper place works for you, the savings over time can really change your whole financial picture. And they have this example, saving $135 a month just from little things like ditching subscriptions, making coffee at home, carpooling twice a week. It shows those small things add up.
So cutting costs is one side. The other side is increasing income, even without a degree. What ideas do they have for that?
This is where you take control, boost that saving power. Freelancing, if you can write, design, tutor, whatever, sites like Fiverr and Upwork connect you with clients. Then side hustles like delivering with DoorDash, online surveys for some extra cash, local services like pet sitting, cleaning, you name it. And don't forget selling stuff you don't use, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, those are your friends.
Those freelancing and side hustle platforms are pretty amazing, right? You can earn on your own time. So many options now.
For sure. And a lot of them are flexible. You set your hours, work around other stuff. They even say making $600 extra a month delivering food just 10 hours a week. That's a real impact on your savings goals, even working part-time.
Now they talk about automating and hiding your savings. I love that, making it almost like you don't even notice. How do you actually do that?
It's about making saving easy and regular. Set up automatic transfers from checking to savings every payday. You're basically paying yourself first without thinking about it. It's a bill, but one that pays you back later.
They say even $5 a day, that's $150 a month. Makes you see those small amounts differently. And they mention apps like Acorns and Chime. What's the deal with those?
So these apps, they link to your bank and round up your purchases to the nearest dollar, putting that extra change into savings or investments. It's totally passive saving. You don't even change your spending much. You'd be surprised how it builds up.
Next, they have the cash envelope system. Feels kind of old school, but it's in there, so must be something to it. Why use envelopes?
It's about having a physical limit for certain spending. Put cash in labeled envelopes, groceries, transport, fun, whatever works for you. Money's gone, you hit your limit until you budget again. Really good for not overspending, especially on things that change a lot.
Then they shift to free stuff and discounts. Seems obvious, but we'll probably miss a lot of these. Where should we be looking?
They got some good ones, community stuff, like food banks and libraries. Libraries especially, way more than just books, lots of free entertainment and resources. For regular shopping, coupon apps, cashback apps like Honey, Rakuten, they find discounts or give you money back automatically. And don't forget store loyalty programs. Those rewards add up.
They even say, like, saving $20 a month using the library, another 10 on groceries with cashback apps. Those little bits matter.
Totally. It's about being smart, finding these little ways to spend less without cutting the stuff you actually need.
Okay, big one now. Paying yourself first. What does that mean, like, mentally, to prioritize saving that way?
Paying yourself first. It means making your savings a priority. Treat it like a bill right at the start of each month before anything else. Don't wait to see what's left over. It's changing how you think, saying your future matters. It's got to be taken care of.
And the example is saving $500 in 3 months. They break it down monthly, weekly, even daily. Suddenly, it's just a few bucks a day. Feels way more doable.
Exactly. Big goal into smaller chunks. It's less scary, easier to track, keeps you going.
Which brings us to their last point, staying motivated, tracking your progress.
Yeah.
Super important long term, right? What do they say about that?
They say set clear goals, specific ones. Don't just say save money. Say what for, like a car down payment, $1,000 for emergencies, whatever matters to you. Having that target gives your saving a purpose. And celebrate those milestones. Little wins along the way, even if it's something small and cheap, keeps you going.
So big picture for our listener, what's the main takeaway about saving fast, even on a tight budget?
It's that you can do it. Saving money, no matter how much you make, it's possible. Smart strategies, small changes, consistently, it all adds up. It's not about never having fun. It's about knowing where your money's going. Putting your goals first, finding ways to spend less and earn more, and making saving automatic, like a habit.
It's those key steps, right? Know your spending, budget for saving, cut costs, boost income, automate everything.
Exactly. And the guide says be patient, be consistent. You'll build those savings faster than you think.
And on that note, they ask you directly, need help making a plan just for you? Let me know. It's your journey, your situation, and there's help out there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.